New data reveals aspiring teachers here in Florida are still struggling to pass the state's teacher test. It's an investigation our Katie LeGrone was first to break more than a year ago.
And tonight, her Emmy Award-winning series continues with the new failure rates and how the state's promise to help has also failed.
I'm so ready to be in the classroom.
As Florida classrooms prepare to fill next year's vacancies,
the system is flawed.
Thousands of aspiring Florida teachers continue their battle,
raising the bar.
I can't pass it.
Just to get in the door.
It's a matter of justice.
Keeps me up at night.
For more than a year, we've been following their stories.
It doesn't make sense.
Promising young teachers who excelled in college
Makes you feel stupid.
failed Florida's teacher's test.
Do you not want us?
Many over and over again. Even active teachers with proven records in the classroom.
They're leaving us without a job.
Terminated because they couldn't score on the state's mandatory licensing exam, made more rigorous in 2015 to align with tougher student tests.
Angers me that a test decides my worth.
But more than a year after we reported how the state anticipated the drop in pass rates, adding scores typically increase over time, we've discovered the latest pass rates show little to no change. Elementary math, 61% last year, up just a hair from a year earlier. General knowledge math, still 57% for the third year in a row. And elementary language arts, static at 54%. New state data shows.
It's a lot of teachers, potential teachers, who are not able to become teachers because of not being able to pass.
At the University of South Florida, by the end of spring, nearly a quarter of education students had yet to pass portions of the general knowledge part of the exam.
It's an issue. It's been an issue for 3 years now, and I don't see it changing.
It's a problem the state doesn't appear to be concerned about, responding to our questions with this month-old press release touting Florida's student progress as most improved nationwide.
It doesn't make much sense. There are a lot of factors that play a role in an individual student's success.
Those are two separate issues.
But State Representative Robert Asensio isn't satisfied. As a result of our report, he introduced legislation calling for an independent task force to ensure the validity of the test. He also wanted better study guides and lower costs. While the bill never went anywhere, Asensio isn't giving up.
It's unfair to have people fail and then leave them with the uncertainty of them really not knowing why they're failing.
Or, as the latest test results show, why the state doesn't appear to be doing much.
You just feel so defeated.
To help.
It's not unexpected. You got to do something about something in order to make it better.
State efforts to help teachers pay for these tests also failed. That budget not approved by lawmakers. And just today, we've confirmed Congressman Brian Mast is also looking into this test and its failure rates. I'm I-Team investigator Katie LeGrone, taking action for you.
Nearly 1,000 teachers in our state just got pink slips, not because they can't teach, but because they can't pass a state test. A year and a half after I-Team investigator Katie LeGrone was the first to reveal unprecedented failure rates on these tests. She's now uncovering how many teachers in the Bay Area just lost their jobs all because of it.
How do you tell a teacher who's got the passion?
My purpose in life is to educate.
And gets the results.
It makes no sense.
You're fired.
I'm getting emotional thinking about it right now.
They are just two of at least 920 Florida teachers who we've learned are being terminated this summer because they can't pass a portion of the Florida Teacher Certification Exam, a must-pass to teach here.
I feel ashamed. I feel stupid.
Emily Mixon built her school's drama program. Her principal deemed her an effective drama teacher. But after 4 failures on the state's general knowledge math test, she just completed her last act in the classroom.
I have a ton of gifts, I have a ton of skills and abilities. Math is not necessarily one of them.
After exams were revised in 2015, we found failure rates shot up nearly 30% on some parts, and recent scores haven't shown much improvement, leaving school districts with little choice.
It's always hard to lose teachers.
The Pasco County School District just fired 36 teachers because of the test, nearly doubling its number of empty teacher slots. In Polk County, more than 90 teachers are now out of a job for the fall.
Last year was 79.
Yeah, there's been an increase.
What kind of impact does that have on your school district?
Oh, it has a dramatic impact.
And in Palm Beach County,
yes, these are good teachers.
The test has resulted in 148 pink slips just issued.
It is frustrating because we would love to have kept those teachers.
It's shocking to me.
Among them, Victor Creighton, a former business exec now leaving behind some of the highest middle school student pass rates in his district, a curriculum he helped write.
This is why I teach.
And this teacher recruitment video he recently starred in.
Now, because I've failed a general knowledge test that has nothing to do with general knowledge or my curriculum, they're going to fire me. It's mind-boggling.
Across the rest of our viewing area, the numbers vary, from 37 teachers terminated in Hillsborough County to 68 in Pinellas. For now, these teachers are planning their next chapter.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
While still coming to terms with how this one ended.
This is the most misguided thing that they could ever put into place because they're doing the exact opposite by getting good teachers out of the system.
In response, the State Department of Education maintains the purpose of certification is to support academic achievement by assuring educators are professionally qualified for highly effective teaching. They also maintain there are other ways to meet state requirements. For more on that, head to our website. I'm I-Team investigator Katie Legrone, taking action for you.
Now to our investigation tonight into a growing teacher crisis facing Florida. Tonight, decision makers now stepping up just weeks after we first reported that more than 1,000 teachers were just terminated for not passing the new state exam. Tonight, I-Team investigator Katie Legrone inspiring new promises from some of the state's most powerful.
3 years after starting her second career as a teacher, Deborah Quinn is jobless.
I took it like who's gonna teach them? They need me. They need me. I can't let this test determine.
Deborah is one of more than 1,000 Florida teachers terminated this summer for not passing the Florida Teacher Certification Test, or FTCE.
These are not tears of woe is me. These are tears of frustration.
The must-pass test has become a can't-pass nightmare for thousands of Florida teachers and those who aspire to teach.
Is it a real crisis now?
I think it is.
The state teachers union voicing its concerns as teacher vacancies increase, according to the union, up 60% in 2 years.
It makes you a little angry, number one. And number two, we need to solve the problem.
Up until now, the union has stayed quiet about the test and its failures, which we found are still up more than 30% on some parts, since the test was made harder in 2015.
The reality is, if you're raising the bar and pass rate drops like that, then you have a problem.
It should be alarming to every legislator within the state of Florida.
State Representative Chevron Jones, a Democrat on the Education Committee, also wants answers.
It hit home with my best friend.
That friend, an English teacher rated effective, failed the math portion, and this summer was pink-slipped.
We walk into very dangerous territory with allowing a test to be another factor of why teachers are leaving the classrooms.
Over 1,000 teachers, that just blows my mind.
Jones is joining fellow Democrat Robert Asensio, whose bill failed last session, called to lower test fees and create a task force to study the exam's validity.
This is not a Republican, this is not a Democrat issue. This is a Florida issue.
Commissioner Stewart, can you... An issue the State Department of Education does not agree with, but leaders refuse to talk about on camera.
You're interrupting me in my 15-minute break for lunch. Is that correct?
State's Education Commissioner clearly frustrated by our questions at this recent board meeting.
I'll answer your question when you answer mine.
I am interrupting your 15 minutes to have lunch so we can get answers for the thousands of teachers who continue to struggle. Is that acceptable to you?
It is acceptable to me to have high-quality teachers in the classroom.
You're intelligent. Don't let
But it's how they define quality.
And then you're going to tell me that a test determines.
Still bringing so many to tears.
My worth.
I'm I-Team investigator Katie Legrone, taking action for you.
And we will have more from that tense exchange with Florida's Education Commissioner tonight on ABC Action News at 11. You can also view it right now on our streaming devices, including Fire Stick or Roku.
At a recent Board of Education meeting in Orlando, open to the public.
Cheryl, what can we do here?
Our quest for answers over a teacher test.
She's in the places she needs to be.
Okay.
So I can provide you with a comment.
Left the department spokesperson playing security for the boss.
Don't you go.
Cheryl, this is not appropriate. It's not professional.
It's not appropriate for
We've
you
been
to
doing this
approach her
story
when
for
I'm
a
asking
year and a
not to.
half.
That story, a teacher certification exam the state made harder in 2015, but thousands keep failing.
Is there concern about this?
That's not a question I can answer. That's not part of what I do.
Okay, but the commissioner can answer that question.
Right.
The Department of Education oversees the exams, which test teachers' general knowledge to subject area.
Of this teacher test, it's gone
Thank
up
you very
800%.
much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
But leaders have refused to talk about it.
Do you have any response to these frustrated and failing teachers?
Absolutely no response.
This is something that's impacting thousands upon thousands of teachers.
For a year and a half, our repeated requests for interviews have been rejected for written responses.
But she's asked me to provide you with a comment.
Most recently, this department spokesperson offered us a comment, with the boss just steps away.
Commissioner Stewart, can you give us some type of response to these failure rates that continue to happen?
So let me ask you something.
Sure.
You're interrupting me in my 15-minute break for lunch. Is that correct?
Ma'am, we have
that
spent the
what you're
last
doing?
year and a half asking for an interview about this, and we've only received a written statement. Teachers
let me
want to know,
ask you,
is the State
are
Department of
you
Education
interrupting-
concerned about this?
Are you interrupting my 15 minutes that I have to be able to have lunch today?
I have been asking for a year and a half.
I'll answer your question when you answer mine.
I am interrupting your 15 minutes to have lunch so we can get answers for the thousands of teachers who continue to struggle, frustrated, failing this
So
test.
we can go on record as you are rude enough to be able to interrupt me. Is that right?
If that's what you want to say, absolutely.
Okay.
So my question to you, Ms. Stewart, is the State Department of Education concerned about these high failure rates that
We
continue?
are so concerned about the quality of our teachers in the classroom every single day, and we want to ensure that we have the highest quality teachers in front of our students because our students really need our best quality. So we're doing what we can to ensure that we follow state law and that these teachers are passing the assessments that are required in order for them to be certified to be in the classroom.
We just found this summer that more than 1,000 Florida teachers with proven records in the classroom who were deemed effective teachers lost their jobs just because they couldn't pass a portion of this test. Is that acceptable to you?
It is acceptable to me to have high-quality teachers in the classroom. Our students deserve that.
So at what point does the Department
That's
of
great.
Education...
I've answered your question. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. After that exchange, we requested a more civil sit-down with the commissioner, which was once again ignored. Several lawmakers and the state teachers union are now investigating to determine if the test or the law needs to change. I'm my team investigator Katie Legrone, taking action for you.
Florida school districts are now joining the fight over a teacher test. Thousands keep failing. This as a Florida lawmaker calls out the state's education boss for only adding to the problem. I-Team investigator Katie Legrone with the new fallout tonight.
As failures on a teacher licensing exam worsens Florida's teacher shortage, we've learned a handful of school districts are taking some bold steps to find answers.
Here in Lee County, the teacher test saga has had such an impact, district leaders are now asking lawmakers to change the rules on what's needed to become a teacher.
Like granting teachers permanent certification if they're rated effective or highly effective, but continue to struggle to pass Florida's teacher certification exam. In 2015, the general knowledge part of the state-mandated test was made tougher. Failure rates increased. So did the number of teachers forced out. This summer alone, more than 1,000 Florida teachers were pink-slipped for not passing the test. The state says it must ensure all educators have.
This could have been a lot worse.
In Lee County, the district fired about 30 teachers.
It really is frustrating when, as a district, we know that this is a quality teacher. In some cases, we know that they're recognized from the state for being a highly effective or effective educator, yet we can't keep them employed because of this one test.
We walk into very dangerous territory with allowing a test to be another factor of why teachers are leaving the classrooms.
Well, some lawmakers are open to changing the law.
Commissioner Stewart, can you give us some type of response to these failure rates?
Florida's education boss recently tried to dodge our questions.
You're interrupting me in my 15-minute break for lunch. Is that correct?
Ma'am, we have
that
spent
what
the
you're
last
doing?
year and a half asking for an interview about this.
It is acceptable to me to have high-quality teachers in the classroom.
Quality, Florida right now defines with a test.
Are we going to say that one test score says more about somebody than the academic results of a classroom full of children?
I'm I-Team investigator Katie Legrone, taking action for you.
That was our I-Team investigator, Katie Legrone. That tense exchange, by the way, with the education commissioner now fueling a political squabble. Representative Chevron Jones calling the commissioner's reference to her lunch break absurd. Commissioner Stewart responding to him by touting Florida's successes in K through 12 education.